Hello, Year 5, and welcome to your last English lesson of the week. Now, I was going to roll the resolution and the ending into one lesson today, but I have decided not to do that. So we're just going to do the resolution today, and then on Monday next week, we will move on to your ending. Then we will be able to have a couple of days where you can edit your work, and we will have another lesson to do with this next week, which is slightly different and a very different approach to it as if you're publishing it. So let me share my screen, and your first job, have a look over your work from yesterday, have a look through my feedback, and can you make any changes that I have suggested, and any changes that you notice upon a second reading of it as well. When you've done that, come back to me and we will have a look through everything. Okay then, so for today we are looking at the resolution. Now in our model text, the resolution is here. There's not really an ending to this story. It sort of has the resolution and then the story is just finished. But I would like our stories to have a resolution, which is why we will add that on afterwards. So it was a few days later that Brightman returned on a feast day when the people of the town were in the streets celebrating. This time he wore a cloak as red as blood and wore a strange mask. Once again he began to play, only this time it was not the rats that followed, but the children. Every child in Hamlin followed the piper as if mesmerized by the melody that he played. The adults suspected no ill, for it seemed to them like a party game. But the piper led them out of the town, across the down, and into the mountains, and not one child was ever seen again. Excuse me. So, some things that we need to remember in our legend. We need to have a moral of the story, which we will cover on Monday with the ending. There will be something that the current villagers remember or talk about. Use a wide range of sentence lengths. That's a really good way of building up tension as well. Sometimes in the resolution, we want to build up that tension too. And then there are the other bits on there that we have talked about previously. Here, once again, are our year 5 objectives that I will be looking for. Obviously, you can't necessarily include all of these in every single piece of work, but it is worth going through and having to think about which ones you can include in this. Some of you are using dialogue brilliantly. Talia and Sampreeti, for example, you both use dialogue really, really well to further your story, which is excellent. It's really, really effective. So for your resolution, how is the problem solved? How do the characters react? How do the characters escape or get free? Now, depending on what tale you are doing, you will be in slightly different situations. Lots of you are doing different versions of the Pied Piper of Hamelin, which is excellent, in which case you need to have a think about, does your main character get paid, or do they find a way of getting vengeance, or is there another thing that happens that's slightly different? If you're doing another story, for example, Joseph is doing like a reworking of Robin Hood, have a think about where you're going to develop that from. You can delve into the actual legends that if you if you are familiar with them or if you've got them, use those for inspiration as well. I've had a really good time reading these so far. What we'll do next week is we're going to have a bit of a chance just to go over them, edit them, tidy them up a bit, and then publish them and maybe design some front covers for them and things like that, as if we were designing them as books. Well done, guys. You've worked really hard on this. Keep it up, and make sure that your stories don't tail off. Make sure they stay as exciting as possible for the whole duration.